All right. Oh, I'm not exactly sure where this is going to go. I have absolutely no intentions for this channel. Um, I'm just going to share what started coming through, and the rest we're just going to let flow. Um, I want to say, or I'm going to say, that this channel is for the resonance of C. Now, that could be the letter C. So if your name begins with a C, or it could be sound, that C sound. And then before I even started on this, I had heard crystal. So it could be if your name is Crystal, or I'm going to say I want to dedicate this to each and every person who finds this, who is just learning to see and or coming into that crystal clear vision yet again. Um, there's a lot of things that have been inspiring me lately, and it should be noted, like Maseroth, thank you so much, lady. Oracle, fellow visionary. Um, but that's a channel that I was guided to that gave me personally a lot of clarity. And it'll sound crazy, but because amidst all the metaphors, amidst all the madness, that many of us may be experiencing in the world right now, there is still so much magic, you know? Magic and like, I just heard, and it's terrible. I'm not even gonna say that. Oh, yeah, I am. Okay, I'm gonna share what I just got. Fucking terrible, given like what it actually is an advertisement of. But it's like, do you believe in magic? And I hope you do. Do. Fucking the man with the big red shoes, the golden arches, McDonald's. Fuck no. But then again, it's all a matter of perception, right? So if we break it down, or like if I break it down right now, I remember one time I was sitting in a McDonald's, and it was a really cool moment because it was like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I remember sitting in this McDonald's, and I was getting a cool like flow going, like a lot of writing was pouring out. And I just remembered like looking around and thinking, fuck, McDonald's holds no judgment. Like, there was like, I think there was some dude who was like passing out on one of the chairs, and he had this small fry in front of him. Nobody's bothered him. They just let him chill, have his little nap. Um, I also remembered something that a good friend of mine, June, said to me, told me one time about his personal experience of how, like, he had been on top of the world, had all this good stuff going, but he knew he needed to humble himself. And he ended up just like quitting everything he was doing and going to work at McDonald's, just to achieve that that inner humility yet again. And it's pretty cool, you know, because regardless of how things come to be or how we go about it, um, the universe, our attunement with our God self, um, it will always find a way to humble us. You know, like whether it's an urge that comes up through us personally and we don't even question anything and we just go for it. Or, you know, we have a tower moment and everything that we ever knew comes crashing down around us. It's constantly, well, not constantly, right? But that energetic frequency of faith and regardless of how deep our inner knowing is, regardless of, you know, everything that we've been led to believe or that we've tapped into through our personal experience, through our search for genuine truth. The frequency of faith is so pure. You know, it's like, and it's cool actually because Mazroth, she's that channel, she said something and it really struck a cool chord. It was that purity, you know, that is above love. Okay, I know I'm not sure if I'm saying exactly the way she put it, but the divinity, you know, the divinity. Infinite. The infinite divide. The division of self from each aspect of being. The purity, a soul's return home. And in our great ascension, I'm hearing the discovery of how we can have it all. Interesting. The rainbow light body. I'm thinking it's cool actually. Like, I watched this video on YouTube and it was watching transcendence actually take place. The return to light. These monks, like, okay, well, this one monk in particular, oh, okay, this is two separate videos, but, or like pieces of information that I came across coming together. Like one, well, both of them were actually the same thing. They knew the moment they were gonna die. Like, they knew it and they were able to set the stage for it. And I want to say, like, pun intended, because it was very literal. Like, they knew that they were leaving this plane, but it's this process, from what I'm understanding and what's coming through right now, is like they were attaining their rainbow light body. And so literally in this one video, he was sitting there, and there was all these other monks like watching this happen. And whoever uploaded this video, it was very cool because it, like, you could feel there was no fuckery to it. Like, it was just, this is it, this is that. And I say this like, because usually no, I can feel the simulation. I can feel when things are fucked with, in this like whole crazy matrix of things, right? And it was so cool to watch this because he was in this process of attaining the rainbow light body, and we could literally watch like live footage of him transcending and returning to light. And it was just so fucking amazing, like the way everything at that cellular level, that vibration, and just like all the particles that consist the matter of our being, and the way he just like started coming apart, kind of like if you've ever seen, I think it's Venom, when Sandman, like when he ends up in that like gravel pit or whatever, and those machines go off, and just like what happens to him. It was similar to that, but it was like light, you know? Very cool. And where was I going with this? You gotta love the channels. Um See, and that's like another thing too, is just that's been a major part of my process lately, is actually starting to understand like how I've done so many things so naturally and had no idea. Like, I didn't have the right defining or categorization or like, explanation, which, I mean, there's so many teachers out there that explain and break down the details of what it is, like, but now I finally realize like what a lot of my storytelling or whatever, or if like somebody would ask me a question, and just like boom, like I'd find the answer kind of thing. But it's just like, I realize now how so much of my life has been this direct channel and mediumship, so to speak. I don't know why I feel like crying. It's like so fucking awesome. But yeah, so this particular video is for our crystal clear sight and a dedication to returning home to our eternity. Finally understanding, or not, finally comprehending, like having it all come together. Regaining trust, being able to set aside like all lust or struggle and search for more, because we finally discovered exactly what it means to be patient, and that faith or innate knowing of our eternal, of our immortality, of that indestructible essence that we all have, because we know where we come from. We know where we belong. And we know that regardless of whatever may try to break us down or steal away what is rightfully ours, that everything will always be okay. Ichthys, the king of okay. I hope you're doing okay. I kind of wanted to say now I see how you see, but I know that none of us don't, because that's not how it's meant to be in this particular cycle, in this particular point of the journey, the ascension. I want to say reascent. Because wow, the descent is rather intense. And I'm hearing this piece, it's part of a piece I wrote once. It's like, I won't leave you in suspense, my dear, for everything is quite clear. It's all about the here and now. Once upon a B-style freestyle. I can never show you how, because it's a part of the process, right? We're all meant to fumble and stumble and like fall and rise, and it's just, and trip trip up. Oh, but the great symphony, right? There's always some amazing music playing in the background, regardless if we hear it or not. That kind of marks, those little. If you've ever seen the movie Human Traffic, and I love it I'm not going to totally be a spoiler or anything, but I love it at the end, when everything's coming together and there's Buddy coming off of this really on the come down from the trip they had been on. It's Human Traffic, the movie about the British ravers. I believe it was or these, yeah, British ravers, yeah, totally. But I think it was from the same makers of Trainspotting. But it's really cool because they got this music playing, and he's walking to meet his buddies, and just right when he trips up on something, it's the perfect, if you listen to me, it's all so in sync. It was just fantastic. But yeah, great, the soundtrack to our lives, Mm. I think that's all I have right now. Or maybe not. Okay. So, I'm being guided to share this one dream that I had many, many moons ago. It was before I was 16, so, and it doesn't even matter, whatever age. It was a powerful dream that has always stuck with me. But in the dream, I was on this raft, and I was laying on my back on this raft, but I was seeing through my third eye, obviously, because I could see everything that was going on. Although I was still in and of myself. And I'm floating on the raft. I'm being guided by this old native woman, a medicine woman, And it's cool because like the setting was taking place where I grew up. There, it was in between the bridge that went over into like all these French communities and farmland. And oh, really fucking cool. I just saw something. Because the bridge wasn't where the bridge usually is. It was moved, and this has already happened. But in my dream, the bridge was still the old bridge that we drive over. They hadn't built the new one yet. Cool. So I kind of saw, sweet. Um, anyways, and the whole like of everything was water. It was, I was like in a water world, so to speak. And there was two white streamers that marked the road for the path of my raft to be guided along. And so I'm being pulled through the waters and on the white streamers on the road. And as we were, this is really cool actually, because I'm starting to gather more pieces, more details. But just before where I had grown up, there was this tree there, and one of the streamers got caught up in the tree. And so, like, the raft stopped, and I was like, oh, I looked to my guide, and what am I gonna do? And she didn't really say much, just kind of looked at me. And so I'm like, okay. So I climbed up the tree, and I picked up the streamer, and I set it back down in the water. And while I was up in the tree, I got stung by a bee. Okay, really fucking cool. Oh, I'm finding all these details. Thank you, thank you. Um, and I got stung by a bee. And when I got back on my raft and I looked at my guide, I'm like, a bee stung me, And I was like, I was kind of crying a little bit. And she's like, that's okay. All you need is water. And instead of like dipping her finger into the water world all around us, she dipped her finger into the tears coming down out of my eyes, and she rubbed it on the bee sting. And then continued to pull me along the raft, and I laid back down on the raft, and then I was pulled, and when we came up to the area where my home was, and instead of like my home, I got off the raft and I walked into this library of books. And in the library, there was another old Native woman, older but maiden. No, like maiden mother. And she was sitting in a rocking chair, just in this like total knowing. Like, she didn't say anything to me. She's sitting there rocking, and I'm looking around the library, and I'm like so excited, but I just felt like I had to go. And I was like, I'll be back. And she just like sat there still just rocking and nodded at me. And then I left. And I woke up, I think, after that. Like that's where I remember the dream coming to an end. Um, what's really cool, and I can't remember exactly what came first, if it was the dream or like the literal of it, but then playing like we lived on this acreage and I remember playing with company. Oh yeah, okay, we had company and my brother, we were like playing in the bush and stuff and came across a beehive and like who I think it was, yeah, it was the company. He like hit this beehive like to knock it down and they just like got right pissed off, right? And they're flying everywhere. And as this was like going down, I got stung like right on the eye, pretty much. Like I'm lucky because it didn't sting my actual eyeball, like it was just above the eyeball and like to the corner and like my whole eye swelled shut and yeah, it was pretty crazy like um yeah, I think that happened before. Anyways, it doesn't matter, okay, regardless. Timing, right? Time is like it's infinite, a figment of our imaginations. I like the way Dolores Cannon put it in like recapping an experience she had with like in what I don't know if it was like somebody she had in hypnosis, but this message that came through is like how um I love the way like you humans have found like a way to measure something that doesn't exist. Like fuck. Oh, relativity. Man, it's so comical. The cosmic joke, right? Oh, it's like, fuck, it's really not that funny, but then it's just like absolutely hilarious. Um, the dance of the in-betweens, so to speak. But yes, okay. So it was like months after I had that dream. I was sharing this dream with a friend of mine. We were at school, and yeah, because it had like I was sharing this with him after another friend of ours, a close friend of ours, had been killed by a drunk driver. And as we were talking and like I shared this experience, this like I understood the translation, what the dream, like the point of it all was. Well, one of the points. Obviously there's a few there. But the key message that came like just washed over me and it was this big like eye-opening, it was like, oh, I get it now. And it went back to like dipping her finger in the tear in my eye and like rubbing it on the wound. It was, the only way to truly heal anything is through the way we see it. And it was just like it was such a powerful profound message, and I know like I've shared that in some of my other videos like one way or another, but for I'm obviously guided here in like this channel for the crystal, the clarity, learning to see, and like whoever I'm talking to right now, um, maybe you just needed a reminder that sometimes, it's easy to get, well, it can be easy to get lost in this place, totally submerged and subdued in the harsh realities that can make up the matrix of things, but I mean, like, regardless of how real that struggle can be, we still hold the key to shift everything, to bend reality to our will, to the will, divine will, and reframe everything to create a higher vision, or to align again and actually heal some of those dark places that always held the light inside them, just like we do. Just sometimes, you know, we're so immersed in layers upon layers upon layers of like a veiling that we just need that wake up call to remember that we can change everything by seeing it differently, or just deciding we don't want it anymore and finally letting it go. Letting go of everything that we thought we'd know, like we knew. And just stepping up to the place that we are now by remembering here. Oh man, that's cool actually, because I got this shirt off the buy and sell and I fucking love it. Like, it's so cool because I never thought I'd like see the day, where I'd be so into all these different colors and like white and just like actually wearing it. And it's really fucking cool because it was like, I don't care, and I just love it because, and it was the play on words. It was something that I like noticed a long time ago, but just the fact that somebody made a shirt and it's like nowhere, no, now, here. So that is my message for Crystal, Christine, for all of us seeing yet again. I just heard Catherine, Charity, Chastity, Candace. Now I'm thinking of like people that I absolutely love and adore. I'm just seeing your guys' names come up. Chris. Yeah. Charisse. Wow. Cool. Elementary school. and even after. Awesome. I'm gonna send this to all you guys. Hopefully you get all the way to the end. And those of you that are still with me, yeah, thank you for being you and waking up or striving to wake up. Know your love. Because I love you too. I'll see you guys soon.